Um, I'm going to show my literary experience to you now with my beautiful prose. It's not prose. Well, it was prose when I got this from. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. In about 40 minutes, I have to leave to go back down to the place. Believe it or not, and like I told you, I don't know why I'm going. Which is why I'm kind of dressed up nicely here. I don't mean to turn on my female subs too much. You know, sometimes I have my cleavage going here. And Richie from Boston kind of laughed about it when he stopped into my station. And he's gone now, you know that. He's been gone for like a year because they got rid of him because he said what was going to happen and it happened. You see, can't have that on this platform. You can't have that. It's just not going to happen. Only it was worse than he thought too. Anyways, good morning, everybody. And I wanted to let you know about this beautiful prose that I read from Gene Shepherd when he was telling a story about back in the Depression. And in the Depression, it was so hard that if you got maybe 35 cents together, you might be able to buy hooch for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? As in like some liquor that would liquor you up in something, and you could go back in the back 40 there and kind of catch a drunk or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It might be less than that. So he told this story, In God We Trust. It was Ludlow Kissel and the Dago bomb that struck back or something. That was the name of the story. It's In God We Trust, all others pay cash, for those of us that... And by the way, when I was working one day, I met somebody who was talking to me about A Christmas Story, and that's what that was based on. The movie The Christmas Story that they show 24 hours a day for Thanksgiving and for Christmas on, what is it, TNT or TBS or Turner Network or whatever it is, right? We all know it. That was based on Gene Shepherd, the author Gene Shepherd's book, In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, which was just a collection of short stories. And that one was the longest one. It was around 25 pages long or 30 pages long. And he explained what it was like to be a kid in the Depression. And in this part of this, and we'll talk about it one day, you know, different parts of it, because it was so split your gut funny. Sorry, I'm disconjointed here. Anyways, along my travels, I was working with somebody, and they were talking about, I know what it was. They were showing me pictures of all the stuff they brought out. That was the leg. They had a picture of the leg of this guy that won the award in A Christmas Story. You know, that was all from Gene Shepherd's In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, when he won that major prize in the Depression that came by freight, which was a very sexy, well-filled out woman's leg lamp with all the sensual accoutrements there. And the wife got tired of watching that thing go up into the window at night on Cleveland Street, where they lived there up north in northern Indiana, and have all the perverts coming over looking at that, admiring that leg lamp. And it kind of accidentally on purpose broke, and damn near broke up the family, until the guy realized that after 3.5 weeks, he wasn't going to get the P word until he forgave his wife for saving their posterity there at the house from all the men coming over and peering at the house. And it was a real tourist attraction. Anyways, I don't know why I'm telling all of you this. I guess I'm doing it to make myself feel smart today. But anyways, in this one part, another story in that book, during the Depression, you didn't have too much fun, okay? You had to kind of catch a drunk, get through the day, whatever, listen to how maybe next year would be better than this year, pick up a little work at the mill for a couple bucks. And they had a drunk. And the drunk, his name was Ludlow Kissel, and he was a drunk. And occasionally they'd tell him that there was some work available down at the mill, and he'd go and he'd work. And you'd make your $1.50 for the day or whatever it was. You know, it may not even been that much, maybe a couple bucks. And he wound up making a major investment with the money he made that day. And the only thing that he said was, he was drawing this thing. Hang on, folks. Hello? I'm doing a video. Call me right back. This is my wife in the Philippines. I'm doing a video, so call me back. All right? Bye. You know, if she watched my channel or something, I'd get her involved. But the Filipinos are like, they're like, I don't want to say, you know what I want to say, but they don't care about anything. You know, they're not interested. So how is she supposed to relate to anything that I'm saying here to you folks? It ain't happening. And they don't want to come over and check out my channel, my son included, because he's busy doing this, as my friend Lance Godend is talking about there with the video game, okay? So, anyways, you just kind of made it where you could and had your fun where you could. So he came home after working at the mill all day, and he only said a few words, which were Jim Dandy. And he said, I sure got one. And Gene Shepard said that there were legends to this day about what happened there. And what he did was, it was in the summer, and it was somewhere around the 4th of July, and he had some sort of bootleg firework, some sort of explosion device, or whatever it was, and it was homemade. And the only words he had to say was, when he came into his house there, people said, what do you got there? He says, I sure got one. That was the exact words he used. And none were more true. So he set it up underneath something or another. I forgot what it was. But what happened, no, he didn't. He put it out in the middle of the thing there, and he lit it. And I guess it had multiple explosions because it rolled. And it rolled underneath somebody's porch after the first ignition, which was like, you know, M80 style. And then when it rolled underneath the person's porch, it blew up the porch. And it damn near got to another house. So everybody just pretty much had to duck and cover. And he said it was excellent training because he would be in World War II very shortly. So it was really worked out for the best. But it was a really funny bit of prose there that you could read. Kissel, Ludlow Kissel and the Dago bomb that struck back is what I think the name of the story. And getting back to that story with the woman there that showed me the pictures of all that, I said, that's amazing. I said, I've never seen that. You've got really quite a bit of stuff. She had like props of this that she put out for Christmas. And I said, that's amazing. And I said, do you know where that came from? And she said, no, my dad and I have been doing this because we see the movie. I said, that came from Gene Shepard and God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash. It's a series of short stories that'll split your gut because it's so funny. He tells his antics when he was young and in the Great Depression. And the woman went like this. She got on her phone. She says, what's the name of it? I said, In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash. It took her about 20 seconds, and she hit the button. She says, I just ordered it off Amazon. It was that quick. So she says, I'm giving it to my father because he'll get a scream out of this. He doesn't know anything about this. So that's my contribution to those people in my life, right? They'll have a scream with that. So, yeah, you know, what this has to do with what I was talking about, I don't know. But I'm going down to the place that hired me out 2 weeks ago, that put me on foot patrol for 9 hours walking back and forth, which made my legs swell up. And the next day, after working 11 hours on my first day there, I went back the next day. And folks, just to let you know, this place is so hoity-toity. I've never seen a Rolls Royce really up close. I've never seen an Austin Marine. What is that? Austin Martin up close. I've never seen a Lamborghini that was like a 2022, 3/4 of an inch off the ground. A Lamborghini, like a 2022, whatever the hell that thing was. It didn't look like the other ones. Beautiful. I mean, you know, Porsche, the new Carrera that's called, you know, a Foxtail or whatever the hell is the name of it. I mean, we're talking about like wealth as you've never seen before, okay? Just to give you an idea, there's about 1/8 of a mile of swimming pools on this place. And they're not the kind of swimming pools that you know about or that I knew about, because I said, we're supposed to, because I worked at that other place, right? And you know, you walk out and you go through a little beautiful garden and then you see the pool, right? Correction. Pools, not pool. 11. There are 11 huge pools. They go on for like an 1/8 of a mile. I ain't kidding. There's only one problem. at this place, you don't just stroll out and meander out into the back. They're on the 6th floor of one of the, on all the condos. There's 3 of them. So it's on the 6th floor and they all go across. This should give you a pretty good idea of what this place is. And there's nooks and crannies everywhere, like I told you before in my video. And you can't get into certain places with the pass they give you because you don't have clearance to get in some of those. Some of those you can get into. You know what I mean? Some of them don't allow you in for whatever the reason. So it's a real jumbled mess. You understand? So I wound up finding a fire hall or something, which I thought came out to the place they call the Horseshoe. Okay? Which is like the only place I can figure out now. Which is actually cool when you're walking there and it's 100 degrees, the wind all catches in there. It's like a vortex. It's nice in there. So that's how I know about it. But so anyways, I'm supposed to go back there now, and the big boss that doesn't work there, he's the owner of the company, of this security company, said he's going to be there at 11 and he wants me to show up and be there. I said, why am I going to go there? He said, because we're going to clear the air on this. So, that, what do you want me to say? I'm going to go there. You know what I mean? I don't even know why I'm going there. What am I supposed to do? The big boss is going to say, you're going to treat him nice. What? You know what I mean? I still don't understand why I'm going there, which is why I told you last night on my video. I don't know why I'm going there. Don't ask me. Do I go over there with the 46-year-old Cuban guy who was hurt? He hurt his back, and he seems to be a nice guy. But he's so unconcerned with everything that he can't have a little compassion and say, hey, man, we're sorry about that. We're going to find out what's going on. Or the heavyset woman who was telling me, where's Waldo? You think that's appropriate? And I talked to the big boss after it happened, this big security boss, and he said, I have to stick with the woman. He said, I understand what you're saying, but I have to stick with the woman. I said, stick with the woman. He says, she's been really good to me for 16 months. I said, well, then you stick with the woman. Because I heard it from my own mouth. They were keying the mic and they weren't even aware that they were saying stupid things. And when I got back to the security place, she was chatting up with that guy, telling him about how I was funny from the start. Okay? Which I don't think I was funny from the start. Maybe I present myself like that. I just was like anyone else, as far as I know. You know what I mean? So what can I tell you? So I don't know what's going on with this, okay? Anyways, that's Paul's story for the morning, okay? If you get a chance, in God we trust, all of this pay cash, and you can listen about what happened with Ludlow Kissel when he went out and he worked one day at the mill and wound up taking all of his proceeds and buying that big, huge, explosive fireworks device that left a real impression on Cleveland Street there, okay, in his town there, that they still talk about to this day, according to him, okay? Take care. Love you guys. Bye-bye.